Hello, so I am just having a walk in a very, very muddy place. So I'm not really walking, I'm like skiing across the mud, which is very interesting to say the least. But I've come to this most beautiful place locally to where I live. I'm just going to turn this around. Oh, it doesn't let me turn it around, so it's just... It's just so beautiful here today. The waters are extremely high, so it's muddy where they've sort of come over into the banks, but it is just so peaceful here. And just listening to the water has really sort of just, I don't know, made me feel really good. It's such a shame that I can't turn this around actually. But I was just popping on because I want to speak to people about the flow. Yeah, I was just watching another video myself, and it really sort of resonated with the fact that, you know, we are being distracted all the time by not just stuff in the news, because it's not always stuff in the news. It's stuff in social media. It's stuff on groups. You know, it's just constant distraction, and it's just taking some time to be you, instead of being, you know, distracted 24/7. The phone distracts us in itself, the TV, computer games, you know, you name it, it's all a distraction, and it just stops us coming into our own sovereignty and our own self and deciding what it is that we want from life. And what it is that we need for us. And then when we start coming into ourselves and stop distracting ourselves, then we can start using our discernment better. We can start thinking, does this feel right to me? And you know what? It's okay if it doesn't feel right to you, but it feels right to someone else. That's another thing that people really, you know, they need to know that you don't have to have the same view to everyone else. Just because you're not like following, or not even following, just because you're not getting the same vibes as someone else, it doesn't mean that it's wrong, and it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It means that it's not for your soul. And it goes the same for everyone, you know, the same for our children. We always think we know what's right for our kids, but I think they know what's right for themselves. And I think it's important to... Oh, Robin just come above me. I think it's important to just allow yourself to, and your children to flow in their own being, because that's what they need. They need to just be, and then they can use that opportunity to understand for themselves. I'm crossing a riverbank that's got barely any walkway. Yeah, they can understand what it's like to use their own discernment. Because if we're constantly telling them what to do, then they aren't able to tap into their own discernment, because we are telling them what to do, and they're losing that ability. I mean, our children are amazing, you know, if we just sit there and listen to them, instead of constantly, you know, thinking that we know better, we'll be surprised. You know, my daughter's comes out with some of the most amazing quotes, and they just come from her. And she's not really, I say she's not into stuff, but she's, you know, thinks that my stuff's, well, I can't even remember what she calls it now. But anyway, my witchy stuff, I think she calls it. And she does sometimes put a little block onto the spiritual side, but actually she's naturally spiritual, and she writes quotes, and, you know, they are very spiritual, and that's her coming from her natural essence, rather than me going, oh, you know, we need to meditate, we need to do this. Because I sort of think when we do that, we're sort of pushing them the other way, a bit like the rebellious teenager, you know. So I do think it's super important, not just for us, but for them as well to just flow, you know. So yeah, so a little task for you all this week is to see how much you can flow without trying to control the movement of what you're doing, and to try and move away from anything that is distracting you in a lower vibration. So this could be anything, you know, anything that is making you feel in a lower vibration, anger, upset, you know, anything that's making you not feel good. Try to move away from it, take some time, sit within yourself and ask yourself whether this is right for you and whether you need to be following and going deep into this vibration, because right now it might be right for you. You know, it might be something you need to clear through. But just try to be a little bit more discerning in the information that you're taking in and the information that you're pulling into your frequency, because our frequency is so important. You know, I'm all for the physical. I love talking about the physical, the illness, the ailments and the symptoms and everything that we can sort of do with regards to pushing through the physical. But we are energetic beings. So if our energy is out, you know, if this system around us that we can't see with our human eye, but we can feel, if this system is out, then we aren't touching into, we're putting out energy that's not for us, and it's not for the collective, and it's not going to help the bigger picture. How can we shift? We can't shift into a higher vibration as a collective if we aren't individually trying to connect into your own higher. We're naturally high vibrational beings, but I mean, we're not, you know, purposely connecting into that higher vibration. Then we are going to we're going to push that other vibration out into the collective, and it needs to be done individually. And we need to take responsibility for ourselves and for how we move forward. You know, no one can take responsibility for us. No one can change us. No one can change anything. It's not down to anyone, and that goes with your children as well. It is all to do with you. You know, what are you doing? Are you keeping yourself locked into the system? Are you keeping yourself locked into the lower vibration? What are you putting out to the collective? What are you doing? You know, I'm not saying that I live in a higher vibrational state 24/7, because I certainly don't. So I'm just trying to navigate where I'm coming through at the moment. If I could show you how muddy this is, it's quite unbelievable. And I've got some really old Ugg boots on, so they're not the most grippy of boots. So let me just ski down that hill. Yeah. So just want you to think about what you're putting out there, what you're feeding into you, and try and get yourself shifted through it. Great way to shift. Get out in nature. I mean, you can't get better than that. I've come out on my own today. No one wanted to come. That's fine. Although I try to encourage and talk my daughter around to come in, and with mental and physical health, but she didn't want to come, and it's cold, and I understand, so that's fine. It is freezing. I think when I got out of the car, I think it was like 1 degree on the dashboard, and I should imagine it's a lot more colder now. Plus we're near the water as well, so yeah, she didn't want to come, but that's okay. I can advise, encourage and try, but that was my truth that I was pushing on to her, you know, and the family. Not it was me that wanted to go out, so I was like, it's okay, I can go out on my own. So yeah, so just start coming into yourself and, you know, trying to allow flow, but trying to allow everyone to just flow in their own lives. And if you can pick someone up who's feeling low pick someone up, but just don't force them. Because sometimes people need to be in that low place. Sometimes people aren't ready to be picked up. They need to be in that low place. I've been in some low places over the week. So, you know, just let them be. It's okay. It's okay to be, you know, like that. And if they want to flow, they want to be picked up and they're asking for your help, then pick them up. But you don't always have to do it. Don't feel that you have to or you need to. And make sure you look after yourself. And most importantly, keep using your discernment and keep track of what you are bringing in to your field in a vibrational sense, and what you're putting out to the collective. Because the only way we can shift is through the frequency you are putting out. And if we are putting out anger, that's what's going to come back. That's what's going to be fed out into the collective. And, you know, I've been to a protest. I enjoyed it. But it doesn't really solve anything. Makes you feel good. You know, feel like you're standing up. But it doesn't really solve anything, because this is my opinion, obviously. But you're protesting to say that your freedoms have been taken away, which means you believe that you're not free. And it believes you believe that they can take your freedom away, and you believe that you're not sovereign. You know, it's going out and screaming at people that are doing or aren't doing what you want them to do. Again, you're projecting, but you're allowing them to have control over the way you react. So, yeah, it's all just a bit of a learning curve, isn't it, for us all? And like I say, I'm not in a high vibrational state at all the time. You know, never. I'm not never, but I mean, not all the time. I have some really low days. That's okay. Everyone feels low sometimes, and you know, it's okay to be in that dark place, because that's when we can pull ourselves out. You know, the dark night of the soul is where it usually starts. So just surrender to it, and just let it all flow. Right, I'm going to go, because I'm literally navigating a mud bath, and I think I might end up going arse over tit in a minute. So I better go and try and watch where I'm going. But have a beautiful week, guys. See you later.